Hopefully this map. Hopefully I chose the side correctly.
Hopefully this map.
Hopefully I was able to figure out who's on what side, who chose this map. And the correct answer is no one chose it. It was left as the last map.
Did they both choose it?
Indirectly, yes. But also, clearly they're not ready to start. So maybe we can get Stunna and then back. Oh, there, damn. Shame. We're not going to have him back. We're just going to go straight into the match. As we're going to be seeing Cloud9 on the CT side and Complexity on the T. Do you think it matters who wins the knife round on this map?
No.
Heard Dust's opinion.
No, I don't. On other maps, say you want to start on the CT side of Nuke or something like that, I can definitely see advantages. But when it comes to Mirage, it really is even down to just whether the team actually prefer playing the CT or T side. Like, a lot of teams actually enjoy playing the T side of this map more than the CT side. So, yeah, I think it would be almost silly to say that one side is favored as it varies per team. Quick push in, though. It's a T side start for Complexity. Looking to try and shut down Daps. Just going to smoke himself out the back and try and run away. Maybe take a couple of pot shots as he goes, but it's actually Mixwell, one of the star performers of the previous map, to go down very early on. Automatic meets his doom, but Kusta still going strong. Another man round the corner in the form of Obo. Fantastic first map, but a little bit slow on the second. They're trying to double up into jungle, and both will fall within seconds. And maybe should have waited a sec to give TenZ the chance on the flank. A little bit too slow with his rotation. There is a kit available, but they're so far away. I think he would waste the extra 5 seconds just trying to get the kit. Oh, a nice little fadeaway headshot onto Obo. Will still net Complexity the first round.
I like the way they actually did decide to push a couple of positions. Over towards CT spawn, we saw Daps fade away. You had, I think it was Rush and Shazam try to push together through the smoke at the same time. And then we saw Rush rotate back over towards jungle and push the smoke, I think, with Obo at the same time. So they're definitely realizing like what positions they need to push quickly, and Travis obviously try to eliminate any sort of chance for Cloud9 to group up to make that retake work. Kusta's going to be on the scout in towards middle, and we see what the 1 SG, the 2 Galils, and the 2 AKs for Complexity.
Yeah, this is a very safe buy. Maybe wary about the force buy that's coming up and knowing how important a strong start is going to be. Force buy in. Interesting to see that obviously Mixwell saving that extra money for the WP, but you normally do get some extra cash anyway nowadays off the back of the next round eco, so could have probably bought a Deagle or something, but maybe wants to make sure he has utility as well. Still. Kusta. Going to be hitting the tag. Now, if he can lower these players enough, you've got the Deag of TenZ and Daps with the trusty CZ. You could see TenZ jumping away from the angle there. You see a lot of players doing this sort of loop over, which gives you more vision, but also more of a chance for you to be headshot. A bit like that. Well, he does get the information. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Dunked down while they expect Mixwell to be in the corner. Remaining players probably just going to hold on to what they've got. Kusta managing to retrieve the scout, and Daps just keeping what he began with. And yeah, they can't really expect to do much more in this round. Of course, it would be nice to steal one of those rifles away. And that's the one risk you have without going for any SMGs is normally if you get an SMG into rounds like this, you can have that first player sort of run in. If they meet a stack, doesn't really matter because they've lost an SMG. In this case, they have to be extra careful, but it's also a good way to make money. If nobody dies, you can just continue into your buy round without any upgrades being necessary, and also making a lot of cash.
Or Tom, you send the Galil in first to rush in. If he runs into a stack and dies, he can have the last laugh as he's like, hey, have my Galil.
Yeah, if anything, they've downgraded
Exactly.
from their pistol. I'm sure there's a few Galil fans in the chat, and you're wrong-uns.
Yeah, how does it feel to be wrong?
And luckily you can't argue with me because I can't hear you. Except when you scream at me on Twitter or send me horrible DMs.
That's your first mistake of having open DMs.
Do you know what? There's a lot more nice people than there are horrible people, so I don't actually mind too much. And to be honest, some of my favorite messages I've ever received have been like horrible DMs. I think one of the ones I showed you was a guy who said, how much money do you make? I'll pay you double to stop casting.
So
that actually,
he's gonna pay you 0?
yeah. Double of 0 is 0, so get out of here. That's a lot of exposure bucks, though, that he's going to be giving me for that.
Oh, it's gonna be great to go to the market and try to buy
It's like having Monopoly money.
a pound of chocolat with exposure. Dev's gonna take some damage, and Dap's actually able to capitalize off that with a kill. Flame's gonna protect. Flame's gonna be rushed down, and that's gonna be the SG now picked up. And yeah, Complexity might have the A site to themselves, but they're taking a hell of a lot of damage getting into here.
Oh, how many is he gonna get? Ah, just the one. He was so close. He could have got 3. The dream was there. Actually, Tens is still gonna get a kill. They're doing a lot of damage in this round, considering what was invested, which was nothing. They're just what they saved from the previous round. They're actually going to just keep these. I don't blame them. Well, maybe the Galil, but...
I wanted to see Dap just run back in, throw the Galil at them, and run away. Like, no, you take it. I don't want this.
Sort of the opposite of what happened in the previous round. I was talking about how if you have those rifles, it's obviously a lot safer round, but you can still make money if you keep everybody alive. However, this is the opposite side of the coin. They lose 3 players, and they give over a couple of rifles to the opposing side, which, yeah, that's a worry for Complexity. They still get the conversion rounds, and they still do have some extra cash to purchase into this one. We may get to see the AWP coming out onto Shazam. I'm 99% sure we're going to see it come out onto Mixwell. Either that or he saved that money for a very weird reason. I think he had enough to buy an AWP in the last round, so definitely got it for this one.
I think even though, you know, Complexity had a rough time in the last round, it was still important rounds nonetheless. Like, that overpass match, 16-6, 11-4 first half, like that's a map that you want to forget about as quick as you possibly can. And again, getting some confidence back from maybe Obo, or just confidence back as a team would be what they need to have a chance here against Cloud9. And Def's gonna open things up, and Obo, he's not satisfied with 1. The thing is, he's sitting right next to him too, and you don't want to make Blame F angry.
What you don't realize is Blame S have just thrown him across the room. He's actually on the floor in front. No, I'm kidding. Let's move on. Move away from that analogy.
Giant crash.
Mixwell now gives the man advantage. Trades out the kill from Obo onto Blame F. Somehow that adds up to them doing even better.
How does that make you feel, by the way, that the Galil got 2 kills?
Clearly, Complexity need to do better.
He's like,
you can see the fear in his eyes.
Just look at the camera, blink twice if you feel like you're in trouble. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Again, like you said, giving over the rifles. It was the Galil that got 2 kills that they donated from the last round. And of course, the SG. They're gonna be able to buy up here, but they don't want to let too many of these rounds slip away. Mixwell's still gonna be on the op. I wonder what avenue of attack Complexity you're gonna go for. You have 2 players over towards underpass. This time Blame F gonna sit behind Obo. And then you have 2 players at the top of middle with Rush to watch the flank, potentially from A. Downside is that Cloud9 hasn't really used too much utility. They still have, what, 4 smokes left?
Yeah, still quite a lot of the round to go. Def left onto just an SMG for this one. Money not in the best case after the damage was done in the round before. With all those pistols managing to find damage and steal some weaponry away. Kusta's still just lurking over the top of the smoke. Seems like Obo's checking for it, and he is going to have to fade back. That smoke's beginning to fade. He knows that his opponents are there. The connector is where they're looking to challenge, but as you mentioned, there's still a fair bit of utility left, so the CT side could even just try and hold them back, and that's exactly what they've done. They've got to flash through it, and through they go. Kusta's on the other side, but he's not able to get anything done. Daps does a lot of damage, but it's Mixwell at the back of the site. And this is a problem. Look at where the bomb is, Jason. It's down on the ground. They've got to try and get back to it, and Automatic He's being a little bit sneaky. He's managed to get himself into the connector. It may not matter what the rest of the team does as the time is ticking away. They've got to get that bomb, and they've got to get it now. And even then, it's going to be very close. The kill comes in. The bomb goes down with 1 second to spare. And Blame-It peeks back into automatic, but it isn't going to be enough. The CTs will win themselves around. The AWP's going to be saved at that. And while now, money becomes an issue for Complexity.
Fortunate part of that was the fact that that smoke that was put down in connector, it was Cloud9's, and yet unfortunately Complexity wasn't able to use that to get the safe plant down towards the actual short way. I'm a little bit surprised to see Blame actually go for the challenge right off the bat here, by the way. Maybe trying to catch him running in towards the site. But again, I mean, I have the luxury of hindsight and an X-ray. 3 MAC-10s, is that going to be a quick B hit?
This has to be B. It has to be. If they go for anything else, then, well, that's crazy. This looks like it's got a B rush all over it. Tens is actually going to be the only defender. There's nobody else here. Rotation is coming back in from Mixwell, and in fact, short control still gathered up by automatic. He is a man almost renowned for his play into the ladder room, so wouldn't be surprised to see him attempt to be around there. Mixwell's going to kick things off, catches Oboe in the air, and wow, this is just an absolute slaughter. Every man just going down for the Complexity side, and Shazam, well, he's got to try and transform into some sort of superhero here, because there's 5 players left on the other side who haven't even taken a lick of damage. Unfortunately, I maybe said his name wrong or something because he didn't transform.
I actually found it like hilarious to imagine him, like if he pulls off an ace, he just screams his own name.
I do that in many scenarios. None that I can mention on air.
Do you say the whole name? Do you say your alias or just your first name? That's what I'm curious about.
You would never know.
Because I would imagine the situation might not last long enough to say your full name.
Tom.
Oh, Deagles for Complexity. Cloud9 have been able to tie this back up. If he hits a shot, I'm going to scream. Whew.
I feel like there's definitely a meme you could create with like his name, obviously being a musical instrument. Like you could say, especially after the, you know, the oboe.
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I still thought you were talking about Shazam.
We were focused on oboe. No, but like especially after he killed Blame F, you could say like a lot of people like to play their oboe, but sometimes oboe plays them. And it's a picture of the oboe standing behind Blame F with a gun. Like with the instrument. If someone has a lot of spare time, you can make that and send it to me.
Maybe the same person that did the twin.
Yes, someone did do that. I appreciate that.
Well, hopefully that player can or that person can maybe Photoshop a round victory here for Complexity. Doesn't seem like that's even possible.
Oh, get him, Jason.
What? I wasn't being mean. I was trying to get them work.
Okay, this is getting a little bit interesting. Def trying to sneak his way into the site. Did Tens actually see him there? I don't think he has. Oh, if he connected that shot, there's a bomb plant. Unfortunately now, Rush. Ooh, okay, there's one. The problem is the time. He's only got 17 seconds. Still only with a deagle in his hand. And that gets the second one onto Mixwell. They're going to be able to retrieve the AWP.
No?
I don't think they will. So even that's just a cost in itself. Sure, the CT side have quite a bit of money, so they'll be able to rebuy it, but it wasn't really necessary. They could have just sat back and Mixwell would still have his trusty AWP.
I wonder if that'll come back to bite them in the butt later on. But after taking the first 3 rounds, Cloud9 have taken the next... Well, Complexity took the next 3 rounds. Cloud9 took the next 4 straight. Sorry, it's getting late over here. And they're looking more similar to what we saw in Overpass than compared to Dust 2. Not too many mistakes being made out of their side, and some individual players starting to step up. Mixwell has been quiet so far, but then again, he hasn't had an opportunity just yet to do much with the AWP. He is currently, though, top fragging for his team at 6 kills. What worries me, though, is when we saw Complexity do well on Dust 2, is Blame F and Oboe together hitting shots, but BlameF has not been able to really do the same kind of thing, unable to replicate that first map performance. And they did run through the fire, a little bit of damage being taken by Obo. He's gonna come around, not gonna check Shadow, and Dap's gonna get a quick little spray down. I'm not sure how both players weren't looking that direction, but somehow Def and BlameF do respawn. Do turn it to a 3-on-3. But they haven't even picked up the bomb, as it was downed earlier. They have not gone for the plant. And Cloud9 get to use this to their advantage, because look at the utility they have just to play with after the bomb has gone down.
Yeah, that connector smoke is actually quite a valuable one, though. It's going to give some space to Shazam. Unfortunately, he gets taken down. That's a nice nade onto Def. He's so wary of CT, doesn't know that all three players are currently around the jungle connector spot. Automatic is going to start his rotation back. Now, BlameF can't really move here, only 13 HP. And the utility, because it was such a fast play out from Complexity, is still there for Cloud9. Def manages the first kill, but the trade is back, and well, this is the problem. BlameF only 13 HP. The only thing is they might not expect him, it won't matter. Automatic reacts quick enough, and Cloud9 have got their 5th.
I still wonder, is maybe this showing a true tell of this map of the pool of complexity and the infancy of the team, to see two players run by a Shadow and not even check it? A little bit odd.
Yeah, no, that's just a straight up mistake. It looked like, I think, was it Obo in first, who just like sort of half checked it? Like one of the ones where you like flick your man and then flick back, not expecting anybody to actually be there. And well, unfortunately for them, there was, and Daps is able to capitalize once again. It's all right, we got from the interview his food preferences, so if you do want to mimic Daps in every way, then Stunner's here to help.
You just send your questions over to Stunner. Maybe you can ask him in an interview. Maybe what detergent he uses. Maybe what shampoo.
I don't need to know that.
Okay, sorry. Maybe what beard products he uses.
Could be useful. Well, mid control at least gathered within this round from Complexity. Looks like they're wary of a flank. Def just pushes in and gets both players out of the ladder room. Probably wasn't even expecting two to be there, but that's as good as it gets. Rush. You could tell he's wary of someone being behind him. And he is correct. Daps was making his way slowly forward. Tens, while he's going to have to pull off an absolute miracle if he's going to be able to win this round. An AWP for the youngster. Already a man crossing over. And why he is stuck in the mud here. Obo looking to lead the way, but Rush is there to cut off the head. And leaves just Daps and Mixwell trying to save their weapons.
No way that Complexity should chase this either, I would imagine. Obviously, with having Def already towards jungle, maybe they're going to hear Mixwell. Even BlameF was in this position. There we go. Def actually does get the drop on him, so they at least eliminate one weapon. And looking at their money, I mean, you have Mixwell at 7K, Automatic at 4.3, but then you have 3 players on less than 1K. So this could be a nice little start of a streak for Complexity if they can maybe take this weapon out of Daps' hands. But I don't really expect Rush to check this angle necessarily. Or even come out of the doorway at all.
Yeah, I think especially with Complexity just starting to build up some cash of their own, they are more than happy to just make sure that they get a purchase into this next round and have themselves covered at least for one. This was impressive. I think, obviously, Kusta looks like he was playing anti-flash there, but the big round coming out from Def, actually top fragging on his team at the moment. Again, we say that we don't really expect Daps to top frag for Cloud9. Not only is he currently doing that, but we don't really expect the same from Def. Mixwell, well, wasn't ready for that level of aggression. He's going to be executed. And Automatic as well. Just very aggressive pushes coming out from Cloud9. Looking quite disjointed in this round. Team play not quite there, and it's left a massive hole in their defense.
don't actually know why Automac jumped out without his weapon in his hands. In towards middle.
Maybe he shouted, ta-da.
Why did I just imagine him shouting his own name again? Just jumping out. Automatic!
Was he a Pokemon?
Hopefully not. Well, the minute left to go. Complex are taking the time. I think it's also important for them, if they do win this round, to do it cleanly. Again, stable economy. Be the lifeblood into them taking a few more T rounds. And there we go. Just 10s left to low. He will get one onto Def and switch over to AWP, looking to potentially escape the problem. He says nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Blame F is coming for you, and he's going to get the kill.
I was kind of hoping that would rhyme.
I'm not stunned. I can't do that. Sarah. Could do that one. But this is looking good. The economy, rough for Cloud9. And Complexity have been able to tie this up and most likely take the lead. I say most likely because we have seen teams win rounds like this before in the past. But you have to imagine that Cloud9 shouldn't really be able to do too much with just the USO Def turnaround. Oh, sees at least one player and a second. Bomb down back towards T-spawn as Blavas there to watch them jump down into underpass. And that nade just did about 150 damage. And there's the follow-up with the 2 kills. It's not quite the 3 you're looking for earlier, but you have to be satisfied with 2, Tom.
No, 3 is the magic number. That is the full satisfaction.
Well, you heard it here, boys. He's got to get a triple kill to make Tom happy.
Like, 2's kind of dope, but like 3's like, I'm going to need a change of trousers.
Careful, we didn't really bring that many for 13 days that we're here.
Yeah.
I don't think I even own 13 pairs.
Well, that's why it has to be 3. If it was for every time there's 2. That's disgusting from Mixwell. That is absolute filth. He's going to get another one. Okay. 3 kills out of nothing. That was pretty impressive. He's not going to be able to win the round because the bomb is too far ticked, but can he at least take another one with him? I'm almost a little bit worried that he needs to get that little bit further away from the bomb. Almost gets rush as well. Impressive stuff from Mixwell there. Just a little glimmer of what this man can do. Yet to really show himself too much with it. So we've still got 10 kills, but after what we saw in the last map, I think we've set our sights pretty high for the Spaniard, but nonetheless, managing to make things very costly. That was just nasty. Like that. The third one was nice, but the second one, I don't even understand. But
and we had X-ray. Akusta is just burning alive. Down to 44 health. Gonna be pushed from underpass. Blame F. She's gonna allow him to escape back in towards connector. I don't know how Def took all of that damage though. I'm assuming that had to have been just a spray through from windows. 6 rounds on this T side. Complexity looking to march forward for more. And it looks like they will be hitting on towards A. I think they have to plan, or sorry, Cloud9 playing for the retake here. They don't really have much utility. They don't have a kit either, so I don't know if playing for the retake would definitely be the ideal situation if that's what happened. And now we see Complexity starting to group up and potentially go for this execute. Gonna get caught out though from Mixwell, who's gonna flank around from connector. Kusta in actually a perfect position. I feel like he can catch them completely off guard if they don't check the Shazam. In the meantime, able to take down Daps down to a 4-on-3. But Kusta, I think he's got to be the man to watch. He can get easily a double kill here. Spots out Oboe. He's gonna hear the bomb being planted. Comes around the side. Spots out 3 players now,
no.
but Playback's gonna drop him. And Automatic left alone now against 3.
he doesn't even have any health. He's dead. Blame F is just waiting for this, and that is a fantastic round from him. 3 kills, all impactful, save his teammates in that situation as well. And they're going to have another round on the board. Starting to look very strong on this T side of Mirage. Bouncing back after what was a truly dominating performance coming out on Overpass.
By the way, Cloud9 don't have much money either. From what I saw in the last second, I think there was about 2K per player. we kind of wondered about their T side, right? Remember we talked about this. We discussed about moving on to Overpass, comparing that to Dust 2, where Dust 2, obviously people generally know where to play on T and CT side. Easier for newer teams that have come together. Overpass, they struggled on, to be fair, both sides. But their T side here is looking pretty solid. They've been able to hit some pretty damn good shots. Utility damage is starting to come back. So you saw Blame F with the double kill with the nade. They're giving to seem to have a decent read against Cloud9 and are about to approach 8 rounds in the first half and already go into the second with the advantage.
Yeah, looking like they will. Again, though, we saw a very strong T side coming out in the previous map from Cloud9. It seemed like the calls were on point and they were able to just pinpoint the weaknesses of Complexity. So this definitely isn't a death sentence. They were even to lose the last few rounds, but I feel like that's treading on thin ice a little bit. They're going to want to try and at least steal something away. They've gambled on B, and unfortunately, the bomb slowly makes its way into the A site. So Complexity are going to have their 8th round. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Def is even going to start spotting out the remaining players, so that'll be 1 kill at least. Potentially even a gun. I don't think there's anything that their opponents can really do to stop Kusta retrieving this rifle. It's what they can do to maybe stop him keeping it, because they actually have quite a lot of cash.
I think Rush gonna set up Obo with the flash, but we can see that Kusta's gonna be back towards Van, trying to retreat into hulls. I think, oh, actually goes for the challenge, and Obo's gonna get the kill. Complexity up to 8. Cloud9 gonna be back on the buy, but Complexity are looking pretty strong here.
Yeah, starting to see the rise of some of the players. I've been impressed mostly by Def. I don't think he's had a very good match so far. Like, finding a lot of decent picks and...
Sorry. I was just wondering what he's looking at in his hand. I don't know. Decent picks, continue.
Oh, there'll be a smoke setup going in to this A site. Molotov not actually going to land. Daps is going to be forced out of this corner, but a lot of counter utility damage thrown in. Quick trade early on will leave Daps eliminated, and the site fairly open. It's automatic from CT, who could cause them some issues, but in reality, there's also Kusta lurking in from behind. Flashbang will leave Mixwell without any vision, at least for the moment. But now the clock starts ticking, and the longer the clock goes on, the more likely there is to be someone watching that flank. And already, Obo is aware of the possibility. Of course, he is going to keep switching between those two positions. Automatic, in the meantime, is going to find one through the edge of the smoke. That's Def gone. And Obo now kind of has to dedicate himself more into this site. It's such a late lurk in from Kusta that it is going to be a complete surprise. Mixwell even gets the kill. They double up together. Rush can't hold on. And while they are going to get on this defusal just about in time to get things done, Cloud9, they do get back onto the board with 6 rounds. But of course, so much money left for Complexity that it isn't going to be a problem to buy.
I just love that the flank comes in and he's like, okay, I got Obo, but I'm gonna look for more really quickly before I do go for the kill. And the second he turns to go for the shot, Mixwell just steals the kill away from him, but he's likely having a second one over towards Tetris. That initial entry out of Obo, by the way, to trade onto Daps was just ridiculous because he was completely blind out. He just timed that one out to a T. Now the smoke going to come in to allow Kusta some mid-control potentially with Mixwell there as well from Connector. Daps made his way through. Smoke comes in. They're able to take that one back away. And Mixwell, he's got, I was about to say he had a shot until the flashbang came through. Great job by Complexity. I think they've done like a generally good job against Mixwell on the op in this map. Constantly flash him at the perfect time to allow them to just slowly gain control of different parts of the map. He's on 12 kills, yeah, but I feel like most of them haven't come from the AWP.
How on earth has Blame F got here? how has he got there? He's walked all the way through. This is just a big surprise, not only for us, but for his opposition as well. Oh, Tens is going to go down. Nothing he can really do. Mixor's got to be careful because BlameF is so close to his position that he's going to start to push the Molotov even right on top of him. Mixor going to be forced back, and well, this is perfect for BlameF. His 17th kill within this map. He's had a massive comeback from what was the beginning. Now Daps going to meet his doom as well. 9-6 complexity with a strong T-side half of Mirage. A fantastic performance from this man on screen. It seems like, at least from what we've had within this series, at least from the maps they've been winning, the money that they spent on him has been worth it.
We'll see if it's going to continue to be worth it as he's trying to bring complexity together for their first victory here in the ESL Pro League. They still have one half to go, though, before we decide who's come out with the victory and who, unfortunately, is going back to the hotel with a big fat L.
I think
Hi, I'm rich and high. Lex. Yeah. Yo, got the army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. I got a couple thickies chilling in my room who be shaking it like the twerk team. Ladies, show me where them curves be. Curious, I'm not pervy. Honestly, you and your best friend could go and develop a new twerk scene. Got the army with me like Xerxes. Army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. Understand you can't hurt me. I got the army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. I got a couple thickies chilling in my room who be shaking it like the twerk team. Girlfriend run straight to my yard and have her up in my bed. Yep, 20 minutes I'm dead. I tell her okay leave, no Snapchat or back chat please. What color is your backpack? Yep, green. Tell your boyfriend he's a white twat G. Shake it. Shake it. Shake it. Yo, army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. Got a couple dickies chilling in my room. We'll be shaking it like the twerk team. Ladies, show me where them curves be. Curious, I'm not pervy. Honestly, you and your bestie could go and develop a new twerk scene like.
We are back now with our final half of the day. It's just day one of Group B. And you can see who's standing out so far on Mirage. BlameF top fragging at 12-8. Mixwell at 12-12. And Kusta, unfortunately, bottom fragging at 6-12.
BlameF has 17, not 12.
Okay. Well, you know
like,
what?
He's been banging it, so gotta give him the credit he deserves because he has been on point.
Maybe they're applying a handicap to him.
Yeah. Oh, he is 12-8. He's gonna be dinked up as well. Complexity now in favor to win this one. I don't really blame them after what was a strong T half. Bomb is down though after plant position. Couple of nades in play. I think that those nades are probably made for a B stack. Like if they were expecting a rush in that direction, they're going to try and instead clear out the corner of the site. Shazam's actually going to catch Mixwell trying to wrap back around through the murder hole, and that could be an opening that they needed. They do have a kit available onto Def, however the smoke isn't really going to cover him off, and quick kills already coming in for the T side. Def is going to be able to trade out one, but he has to get on this bomb, and he needs to do it now. Just try to survive on the corner, and in fact he is holding it down. Complexity steal the pistol round, with Def getting the defusal. Kusta still with 3 kills right at the end, but it is not enough.
I mean, I like the idea. I appreciate out of Cloud9 to get the bomb down, plant it for short, and then just rush everyone away from that position so you can just hold it from long range. But you can't let the bomb just be straight up defused in front of you. And Def just barely able to close that one out to help give Complexity the strong start. Mixwell gonna be on the SG, automatic on the SG to join him. Oh my god, that was dirty. Mixwell.
Try and play off this. Gaining middle control. Def manages one through the corner of the smoke. That said, I've been pretty impressed with him throughout this map so far. Flame hiding, but it's Def once again. I think he even hits a shot as well. Yeah, onto 10s. He really is just trying to do this round all on his own. Rush. Still lurking in dark. Dap's trying to get the angle onto him and has succeeded. Just 10 HP left. The Molotov going to be used to force him out. And, well, Rush just tries to make a martyrdom play, but isn't going to achieve anything. Still a bit wary of the flank. Automatic going to go and cross into Palace. This gives him the easier route onto the site without having to cross past jungle. Actually quite a smart positional play. The only problem is the rotation from Def is going to allow him to get into CT spawn, and well, then it's not as easy cover off from there, especially knowing that Daps is already, but they haven't actually spotted out Automatic in a while. It might get them a little bit worried about where the bomb is going. The only problem is now they know. Automatic just 8 HP, 2 players, Blame F even on the cross, and well, Def is going to close out the round. Another great one from him. 17 kills, 7 assists, and I'm sure that probably took him over 100 ADR as well.
The unfortunate part for them is that it wasn't a clean round at all. They did rescue the 2 SGs, so that is the upside for it, but they have to invest their entire pool to get everyone bought back up into this. Even an SG picked up for Obo. I bet he's hoping they come towards his direction so he can make back some of this money, considering that all they have is the Glocks and the flashbangs. But you have to wonder, with Def getting that hero play with the defuse, that's got to rile them up. We heard them screaming already here in the studio, and we haven't heard that out of them since Dust 2. An entire map gone by, as their voices had fallen silent. But now that they found them back, can they carry the tune of a victory? I don't know what they're trying to accomplish for Cloud9 with this one flashbang, though. They bought up 2 in the round, like we mentioned before, but I was expecting, okay, maybe B to flash in and go, but with just the 1.
It might just be based off something Daps wants to do on the fly, like just try and work out what some of the players are and then maybe pop flashing. I actually always like to see a flash picked up when you are in these sort of eco rounds, because it can give you quite a bit of space. I'm not sure they definitely had a set plan in mind, but they are going to slowly start doubling back towards the B site, although well, I'd be very impressed if they even manage to get past Obo. Like, the aggression that's currently within this apartment is going to make things very difficult. Obo just looking to farm up some cash, and, well, that's as easy as you like. They kill him eventually, but that'll be all. 12-6, relatively clean round. In fact, Obo going to make a little bit of money off the back of the SMG. I think most of the kills are actually stolen away from him, though, unfortunately.
He only got 1. Some extra pocket change, though. How do you feel, by the way, about Complexity so far, considering, obviously, a roster that's kind of been put together with Blame F and Rush coming in? Do you feel like they've been able to, in the amount of time they've had, to actually put together a pretty formidable team?
I'm pleasantly surprised with like some of the remaining pieces from this team. Like how Def especially has performed much better than we've seen from him in a while. I will say I don't know how well Shazam's realistically been utilized, because he had a decent, like he was okay on the first map. He was non-existent on the second, and he's been non-existent in the third as well. So I don't know if that's just going to be something that comes with time, like how to utilize his AWP a bit better, because it shouldn't really be the case. Like, you don't really want a supportive AWPer. That sounds like a weird role.
Yeah, I will give him credit, though, that his flashbangs have been relatively on point. He's gotten quite a few assists, but that was back on map 1, and that was obviously a much different scoreline for him. It was very one-sided until towards the end. But yeah, obviously not enough time to figure out where all the pieces do fit together for the team.
I think other than that, though, like we've definitely seen some strong performances elsewhere. Like it seems like they're actually letting Def have more of a role within middle, at least on this map, and get a little bit aggressive, and he seems to be doing quite well off of it. Obo being put in fairly tough positions, playing the solo B anchor, at least for now. Blame F. Kind of needs to get this kill. We can't afford to lose this. They need a kill back into this round, and he is going to be able to get it. Shazam also well placed this time to find the pit, but Automatic gets an opening back into the site. In fact, he gets 2, leaving this deadly duo to try and save them once again. Blame F and Obo into a 2 versus 3, make it 2. Although Obo now falls and Blame F is left with everything on his shoulders. 19 kills to 9 deaths, over 100 ADR, but Daps and Mixwell now stand in his way.
They've actually both retreated too. Mixwell watching from ramp. He's actually just go for the save, and not a bad play considering the money they do have, or don't have, I should say. Unfortunate, or they were able to almost equalize things in terms of manpower. But Automatic getting that doubling onto site just completely gives them the entire round, puts them up to 7. I want to see a mid play at a complexity.
No, you never. Next, you're going to tell us that you're tall.
I'm really not that tall.
But you are.
Where I live, I'm really not.
Oh, is that where the Giants?
Yeah.
Do we have to climb a beanstalk to get to your house?
I think I told you that story, right? When I was younger, in elementary school, we did Jack and the Beanstalk in school. And they assigned roles to everyone, and I was assigned the Beanstalk.
I would have done the same if I was your teacher.
They chopped me down, and I had to fall on my face. But the sad part was, my nose caught the ground first, and well, that was just uncomfortable.
And you're still 3 feet off the floor.
Well, I talked about mid-play. They did go for it, technically. Oba did push up with the SMG. Did back away towards short, however. And Cloud9 not trying to give up any early frags here, trying to make sure to maintain all their players in this round, as utility is still a little bit light. And Complexity is trying to look for something early on just to have some sort of advantage, considering they're already playing with one hand behind their back in terms of weaponry, in terms of utility. Don't even have a kit either.
Luckily for them, even with one hand behind his back, Blame F can still bench press more than the whole opposing team. He does have an SG into this round. Shazam around the edge of the smoke. Starting to show some life within this map. Obo waiting in a position which does really benefit his MP9. He's even going to be able to pick up a frag and give them a second man advantage. Although it doesn't last long as Def actually falls. Going to be going for the plant, and no real cover there. I feel like Kusta needed to be defending that bomb better. Now he's going to try and win the 1 versus 3 instead. Pop flash thrown out. Blame F doesn't need to take this fight. Instead, Shazam will be there to close it out, and it's 13-7. An important victory and a damaging round for the T-side economy, and leaving Complexity very, very close to closing out this match.
Really well set up by Shazam too. Him getting that first kill forces Tens to push over towards short to continue that attack towards A with Kusta. And I believe it was Mixwell already trying to push into the site. And Obo just playing his weapon in the prime position. Could have asked for a better spot to hold. Cloud9 down 6 rounds. trying to figure out what avenue they can go with. Thing is, they haven't been able to build a stable economy to get Mixwell the AWP that he was effective on. Though his op on the CT side, at least on overpass, was much stronger.
It's interesting to me that James doesn't seem to be saying anything here. His mic is not even to his face.
Just taking notes.
But I guess maybe he's just like, he's allowed to talk when Daps lets him. I feel like Daps might just be talking things through.
I can't agree with that because he was so nice to me earlier. He was like, I'm glad to have you back, casting some CS. I didn't even know he knew who I was back then. Most people don't even realize I did cast back in 2014, 15.
Yeah, it's a shame you split with Anders and then went off to do Overwatch League.
I told you, I did the reverse similar, you know? I went from Overwatch back to CS. He went from CS to Overwatch. Though he is coming back, good to see him. Can't wait to see how he does. It's always good to have his voice back in
You already do.
Him and I have cast together, funny enough. I don't know like what game it was or what event it was, but that VOD, it just sounds like the same voice talking for the entire time, just solo casting.
Oh, I'm sure whichever one of you it was did a fantastic job.
It was him.
Well, the team side have opted to go for a purchase here. Maybe that's what the majority of the talk was about, whether or not there'd be an investment. Daps has definitely taken the hit here, as he's left with just a Deeg in hand. CT side economy still a little bit sketchy itself, so if Cloud9 can manage to steal this away, could be a possibility there. Now Daps is just being used as a bit of a, well, decoy pro, I guess you could call it. It almost seems real. Unfortunately, he hasn't actually made his presence known, and well, now the execution's going to come in on the other side of the map. Good entry kill coming in from Kusta. There's actually nobody else here. That's the problem, and utility's not that great either for the CT side. Getting back into this site is going to be a tough one. They're going to need somebody to find a kill, and relatively quickly at that.
Daps is still inside of B halls, keep in mind, as Dev has rotated back, so Daps could easily flank around on this one. Are Complexity even going to go for it? Down a man, hoping for an entry, hoping BlameF can maybe connect a shot here. They do have kits. Flank coming in from CT, it's going to be Daps as he's got on top of his horse and trying to ride as quick as he can. Does catch out Rush and take the head clean off of him. That was able to respawn, but Complexity now just in full save mode, trying to keep all three of these weapons alive. And Cloud9 just kind of walk into the site after they took down Shazam and got the round for it. Looks like the pause worked out. The decision was correct.
Yeah, a little bit of time taken, but all it really took was that one entry kill into the site, and that was enough for the round to be over. There was gambles elsewhere playing into middle and a little bit of aggression on B as well, so there just wasn't enough defenders for the CT side to actually hold on to A, and as mentioned at the time, there just wasn't enough utility for them to go for some sort of retake. Now, well, the tides have turned, and it's the CT side that come in with a weaker purchase. It's going to be the jump up coming out from BlameF, and he gets the opener they need, even gets the second as well. Again, looking to try and carry this team through.
You know he can do it in person, but can he do it in the server?
Well, if a taxi doesn't turn up later, I'm going to ask him to just run me home. Nevertheless, this round isn't over yet. Kusta has now picked up the AWP. Was a primary AWPer in the past, so we know for sure that he can do it. Whether or not he will. Still over a minute left on the clock. Tens is going to catch out Oba, maybe being a little bit too aggressive, hoping to gather up some information. Rush also looking like he may go for a push into Palace. This could be a way for Cloud9 to actually get back into this round, and it will be. They trade back the 2 kills. The heroics from BlameF quickly diminishes. Shazam now looking to try and do the same. Now the bomb it's actually going to run into Dev. Dev's going to run it. Oh, this is so messy. Both players without their gun in hand. This battle's so important, and Kusta wins it with the Glock. Okay. And, oh, okay, Shazam's going to get another kill. This round makes literally no sense. They now go pushing. They don't even know the BlameF's still on the site. Jason, this round is insane. And Kusta's now going to take away half his own health by jumping down those stairs. He doesn't have time to just walk his way, as there's only seconds left, and Shazam is waiting. Surely he has to go for a fairly open plan, and Shazam won't even let him get there. And a round back from Complexity. They take a two-man advantage. They let it slip. And then I can't explain what happened after that. It's about to be wiped from my mind.
Well, we finally have our first nominee of the most awkward fight in the Pro League here in North America.
They were having a dance-off. That's what it was.
The funniest part is that Mixwell missed the shot, or Azukusta missed the shot, and then he had a chance to just kill him outright. And he's like, okay, let me just give me a second, let me get my Glock out. That was unfortunate, but luckily, Blame F, the 2 kills he got didn't go in vain. He was able to close out a third and get the round back in Complexity's hands. The buy not looking too good for Cloud9, though they have done far harder jobs with less. And Rush kind of almost by himself. You got Shazam to support, but Shazam's not quite able to hit the shot, and he's gonna miss a second. This is a little bit unfortunate for him, but luckily there's some support coming through from Connector. Rush is gonna get, well, pushed. And now there's a real possibility that Cloud9 could actually take this round.
This A-side defense is...
What A-side defense?
Well, yeah, exactly. Has been dicey. And I think they're actually going to have to fall into a save again. This is starting to just get a little bit depressing. Watching just constant pushes from Cloud9 succeed with not really that much behind them. Like, Shazam definitely had opportunities. He did hit the leg shot onto 10s, but then Rush, even being in what was an angle they didn't really expect him to be, was just able to do absolutely nothing. And well, I think Cloud9 again are just going to be sat back confused going, why have we not been going this way before?
Still at least getting 1 kill off that in the retreat. Help keep the economy in check out of Cloud9. And now you have to wonder, does Complexity start to invest more players to defend on towards the ace side here, considering they've lost too many rounds?
I've got something for them. Blame F on A.
Oh.
Everybody else play not on A. Because at the moment, that's genuinely what's been working, is just him killing people. Like, the last round they won was almost purely based off his aggression into mid and getting the kill onto B as well towards the end as well.
You had me with that strat until you didn't say mid.
God's sake. Well, A's the weakness, Jason, unfortunately, so...
Yeah, but does you look at Blame F, does anything look weak there?
No, that's why he's being put to defend the weakness.
Well, here we go, round 24. Rush back on the SMG. I feel like he's been on an SMG for like the last 3 rounds, if not more. And Cloud9 looks like they're going to pick up the pace and head straight towards B. Well, anyone in B here to defend. Shazam needs to hit his shots this time with the op. Almost there, gets blinded up and not really able to connect, and this is looking unfortunate times. And Shazam doesn't even have a chance to get a single shot off, and Cloud9 just walk all over Complexity, take the B site, and take the round.
Yeah, Shazam has been having a bit of a nightmare. And in fact, I think that he's actually been better without an AWP. He had a couple of rifle rounds. He played around, I think, with a FAMAS and with an M4, and he did a better job. Like, the AWP just doesn't seem to be working for him at the moment, and especially with how aggressive Cloud9 have been, these faster pushes in towards the site, I just don't actually think it really works at the moment. Especially when he's missing his shots, and obviously, like, as an AWPer, you've got to have the confidence to continue to invest into it, but if it is just catching you out, and if your opponents are just being that aggressive, move away from it. And, well, right now, he doesn't actually have a choice, because they don't have one, so...
Well, I mean, 2 rounds ago, when they rushed A, if he hit those 2 shots,
yeah, no,
exactly. The round.
Exactly.
You can't really afford to be missing shots like that in this kind of situation. And I don't mean to talk harshly about Shazam. I mean, before we even started the show, I even said to you, I still rate Shazam as like a decent opper, like relatively good in what I've seen in recent times. But that just made me eat my words. Cannot afford to have that happen in such a crucial moment. Basically, your debut match with the team on LAN.
Well, you don't want Jason Lake making another tweet about you, that's for sure. Must be quite awkward for the players that stayed.
Yeah.
Either way, at least now they do seem to have a few players performing. Definite contrast to what we saw at the major. Well, this round is just going to be an all-out stack. They've left Obo as almost Dora the Explorer. He's got his little backpack on. He's going to be wandering around the map trying to find out information.
I was going to say, close to the same age.
Yeah. I won't lie, I have no idea how old she is, but I'll agree with you.
Somewhere between like 7 and 45, I guess.
Maybe that's quite a big range. I think I fit within that range.
The stack here complexity is pretty decent. Rush is able to get one as they're going to push through, and they actually do have the bomb locked inside of house, and they can just get this kill. But Obo's going to be left by himself, unfortunately, able to get that. Oh, okay. One-on-one actually against Automatic. Can he rescue a weapon? Bomb's going to go down. Very real possibility that he could turn this around. He's going to have to pick up the pace, though, since he doesn't have a kit. Wasn't sure if Rush had one just before, but Automatic hits the shot! Yeah, focus, get the defuse first, then bump the hands. That's what they needed. The youngster coming up big. And that puts him on 15. That puts him on match point here, Tom. Oh, that flick, that was dirty.
A very nice round coming out from Obo, and yeah, I think it's important they get that sooner rather than later. They don't want to give Cloud9 even a chance to get back into this game. We even saw it on Dust 2, like things started to dwindle towards the end of that map, and then they were just able to close it out. But this gives them the big boost to economy. Shazam will be back on his AWP. The SG into Blame F's hands as well, and he has done a fantastic job of battling in mid.
Blame F's on 25 kills. In-game leading, 25 kills, and he did it on Dust 2. Almost 100 ADR. That consistency is such a, I guess, a breath of life into complexity.
Too close for comfort. Mixwell not going to be able to connect. Could have been the opening that they desired. They're actually going to go rotating early on. Palace being challenged by Automatic. We're yet to see some of the same performances that we had on the previous map. Kusta, Mixwell, and Automatic still doing all right, but in the last map they were unstoppable. Tens back to being fairly quiet. Just 10 kills to his name. I suppose it's in the name. Here we go. Smoke's going over. I think that bounced back and smoked them all. I think they actually missed one there, and it's landed in quite an awkward position for the T's. 30 seconds left, and there's a fair amount of defense, so they're going to expect Rush. We haven't seen him play too much from this angle. 20 seconds now. Kusta is going to be there to get the opener. Rush just about gets the kill, but there should be a trade coming in from Automatic. An important one at that, but they still haven't got the bomb down. This could be a problem. Spamming through, trying desperately to find it. But Shazam isn't going to be able to. He's actually going to get tagged instead. Nice shot from Automatic, still just going strong, and now it's left all onto Death. Nothing he can do. Mixwell steps up, and 11th comes onto the board now for Cloud9. And once again, the money's not there for the CT side.
I think you hit a nail on the head earlier on about Shazam not being successful with the op. That was another 3 shots that he didn't hit. I mean, obviously, you can look at that in terms of Rush. The peak he did decide to go for, only able to get the 1 kill. But that's 2 rounds now. Shazam's had the opportunity to lock down this series, and just kind of unfortunate. Obviously, kind of the unluck of the draw, considering we were watching him at that point. And Blame F, unfortunately, will fall. Def gonna get tagged up as he's seen. Shazam does get some redemption, though, get the kill onto Def. And Oba gets the kill onto Automatic, and now they actually have the man advantage. They need to just rescue these weapons, and you can see Cloud9 immediately making the push back in towards middle. Def. He could have the Deagle shot, not the Deagle shot, the CZ shots heard around the world. Comes around the corner, gets the first, gets the sprint on the second as well, and just like that, it's all on Kusta to 1-on-4. With Complexity not having really anything into this round. They have the bomb, they have weapons, but can they have their final kill?
A bomb out in middle as well. This really is a tough scenario for Kusta. He was a star in the second map and had some phenomenal plays, but this would be the best of them. Gonna try and give himself a little bit of space, but is he even gonna expect Def to be this close? He's been around this angle. He's gonna be coming through, but he can't close it out. Shazam is there to finish things off, and it is gonna be the victory coming in for Complexity. Their first series, and the first series for Blame F under this banner. And well, what a performance from him specifically. Like, to come into this roster, to take over the in-game leading role, to try and rejuvenate a team that looked, well, completely flat when it came to the major, and then come straight in, win the first series, and, yeah, well, just be fantastic individually. Def as well, I think we see new life in him in this map. Not only closing out or helping close out the map with the CZ, but genuinely just having a great performance overall. And I think in the future, if you get players like, for example, Shazam having a little bit more impact with the this team really could be a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, we've seen what Blame has been able to do with Obo as well, try to get his confidence back up. On Dust too, he stepped up and he came alive, especially in the clutch here on Mirage. But that's going to do it for this match. We're going to come back in just a few moments to break down that match and hear what Complexity had to say about that big victory.